Yeah, hello everyone. This is Pradeep, and I welcome all of you to today's webinar of training of Smarten self-serve data preparation, data from database. Uh, so we are starting this webinar now. My colleague Dhruv would be hosting the session. Just wanted to make sure that can you all hear me? I'm just writing in chat. I request you to respond. Please forward your response. Can you all hear me? Yeah, thanks Kunal, Mohan, Narendra, Rakhi. Thank you everyone. So more attendees are joining. Okay. So I like to introduce Dhruv. Dhruv is manager here, handling customer success for Smarten, and he has very good, strong skills in the area of data preparation and business analytics, and he has worked with many projects in different industry segments like pharma, BPO, telecom, distributions, government projects, etc. So he would give us the training on self-serve data preparation, and the self-serve data preparation is a critical module of Smarten that falls in under Augmented analytics, that is to help the users to prepare data, clean data, explore data, combine, reduce, etc., without using SQL scripting or any other scripting. So it helps a lot to a beginner or even a data scientist who wants to leverage on the machine learning based uh, this module of self-serve data preparation. So a brief about Smarten. So Smarten is the augmented analytics platform listed in multiple Gartner reports, and Smarten offers self-serve data preparation that we are going to have training for this today. And apart from that, smart visualizations and assisted predictive modeling. So in that areas also, it enables business users with no data science background to create, share, use predictive models on their own. And this kind of transformation is the need in the market right now. And apart from this, Smarten also offers dashboard, powerful ad hoc analysis and visualization. And this makes it a very unique offering, having modern BI or analytics and traditional BI in a single platform. So now in today's webinar, we will be covering these points. This is the main agenda. To create connection with data sources, and in today's training we'll use data from database, and we'll do the data preparation in that explore, clean, transform, shape, blend, and etc. Operations we'll use. We will then publish and refresh the data set, and we'll use action editor and data lineage diagram to show you the entire cycle. We'll be having another webinar next week for covering an overview of other data sources. So many data sources we would cover at a brief high level overview, but now in today's webinar we'll use data from database. And just a quick note about Smarten, that it is being used in multiple industry segment, and it is mentioned in multiple Gartner reports here, as you can see. Now I am handing over to Dhruv. And then he will take it further for the training. And in between the session, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask that in question section, and Dhruv will be able to address that during the flow of the presentations, or whenever he can, to take those questions. But please feel free to ask the question and make this interactive session. Yeah, thank you. And Yeah, Dhruv, I'm making you presenter.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, so thank you, Pradeep. So we are gonna start with our SSDP session. So it is nothing but the self-serve data preparation in Smarten. Okay. So I hope you are able to see my screen. I'm this is our login page of our Smarten. So I'm just logging with my credentials, and this is our home page of our Smarten. So in the Smarten, as you can see, we can connect to different sources. It is there are Smarten Navigator available on page of on the login page of the Smarten. Okay, so we can connect to files, multiple databases, or other data sources, like we can connect to Google Analytics or SAP or Amazon S3 server, like that. We can prepare the data into Smarten, like we can explore, clean, shape, transform, and blend the data that we are going to look into the today's session. We can visualize the data into Smarten, like it's a smart visualization. So you just need to take few columns, dimensions and measures, and according to your data and according to your columns, so Smarten will suggest you the best visualization as per the data, like that. We are also having the model and predictive analysis in the Smarten, so we can do regression, clustering, etc. Algorithms we can apply into the Smarten, and according to the data we will get the output. We can also create dashboard, step, tabular, graph, GeoMap, KPIs in the Smarten. So this is the nothing but the our Smarten navigator. So today we are going to see how to connect to the database and how to create a data set from the database. Okay, so I'm just closing it. So on the right hand side you can see one button is there. So here we can go to data, and we go to data source. So first of all we will see the data sources, so which we can connect to the Smarten. And we see, like, for to connect to SQL server or any other database, what kind of credential you have to give. So I'm just showing you the options available here. So these many data sources are available in the Smarten to connect. Like we can connect to text, CSV file, Excel file, XML, JSON file. These are the file types. We can connect these many databases in the Smarten. So if you have any other database apart from this, then you can just let us know, so we can install that driver and you can install you can work on that database as well. Apart from the database, we have option of Google Analytics, SAP, RScript, MDX, or Smarten Insights. So these are the options available for the data sources available in the Smarten. So right now, today we are going to see the data set from the database. Okay. So in the next session, we will going to cover these data sources, like how to connect which these kind of data sources, like that. So I have already created one connection, database connection. We'll see that existing connection. Okay, I'm just canceling this. So let me just search it over here. So I'm just editing that connection that is already exists. So in that you have to give the data source name. So I have provided as AdventureWorks data source. You can describe that data source if you want. We just need to put your host name, port, database name, username, and password. So if you have any other parameters to connect to the database, then you can pass it over here. We have also option of number of threads. So if you have huge amount of data and you want to fetch the parallel data then you can increase this number of threads. So for this, we also need, like, your database should be powerful for fetching the data, so it should give data parallelly like that. So then we can increase the number of threads. Okay. So if you once you fill all the credential, you just need to test the connection. And right now, as it is showing like connection is valid, so we can go ahead with it. I'm just clicking on OK. So it is asking us for, like, if you want to create new data set from this data source or not. So I'm just clicking OK. Yes, we want to create new one. I'm just giving any name of the data set, like I'm just putting today's date. Yes. So in the while creating the data set, there are two options. So as you can see, there one is step-by-step wizard and other one is page generated, page ready to use query. So if you know the query and you want to use it, then you just paste that query into our database. Okay, in this particular section, let me show it to you. So this one is the query window. You just need to paste it here, paste it over here, and just preview the data, and you will see the data here. Okay. So, but in case you know the query, then only you can use this particular section. Otherwise, let's say if you are not well versed with your query section or technical thing, if you are a normal end user, then you might not knowing the query, like how to create a query and what to do. So we have step-by-step visa. So you can go to step-by-step visa. For this step-by-step visa, you don't need any query background or technical background to create this particular data set. So I'm just selecting my schema. There are few tables available, so whatever tables are available, it will show it here. Okay. So you just click on, like, I want, so right now we are working on HR data. So it is nothing but it is showing the deduction and employee salary like that. So it's a sample data of the HR. So I'm just clicking on deduction. So as we can see, whole table is coming here. Okay. So employee, this HR employee deduction table is here. So employee name, employee code, deduction, these many columns are available in this particular table. And so let's say if you want to join multiple tables, then what you can do? So you just need to click on the other table, like employee salary table. So Smarten will automatically identify the base join between these two tables, and it will do the rest of the things for you, like what kind of join should be there. Like right now it is as equi join. Okay. So if I click on this particular join, then you can see like these two columns are joined between these two tables, the employee deduction and employee salary table. So in employee deduction table, I have employee code, and salary table, I have employee code like that. So right now we are recommending as a equi join. Equi join is nothing but the inner join. You can also change it if you want, like left join, right join, outer join, like that. These are the recommendations from the Smarten. So okay, so you so as you see, 100% data is matching right now. You can also put your own condition as well. So you just click on plus, and all the columns will be available on the from the deduction table or allowances table. So sorry, yeah, deduction table and salary table. So in the deduction table, there are these many columns available. So let's say employee name is available here, and I can see from the salary table these many columns are available. So I can also do the joining on the base of employee name. So just I'm selecting that column and pressing OK, then it gets joined. And on the left hand side, we can see like 100% data is matching right now. So like this, it will automatically join the do the base join, apply the base join condition between those two tables. Okay. So on the bottom you can see like in the blue color what are the columns available from the deduction table, and other for other colors we can see like these many columns are available from the salary table. So these many columns are available, you can use in the data set. So there are also option available as a annual record count, so you can see like after joining or before joining what are my records are there. So once I enable the record count, it will show you here like how many records are available. So this is nothing but the switch to full data mode. So like normally we are working on sample data mode, we are not fetching full data. We do the joining and all the stuff on the sample data only. So if you want to do it on full data, then you can just click on the full data mode. We can apply filter on the data. Okay, then we can manage columns from here. Let's say you do not want to take all the columns from these two tables, then you can select from here like employee code is coming in from the both the tables. Okay, so I'm just removing employee name is also there in the both the tables, so I'm just removing it. So I will remove these three columns so it will not appear in the dataset. So I have joined two tables. So you can also do the joining of multiple tables as well. Like I can also click on another table, and if any joining condition matches between those tables, then it will automatically join. So let's say I'm just clicking on this particular table. So it is giving the warning like there are too many joining condition is leading a cross join. It is advisable not to create such join. So it is giving a warning like you do want to join this or not. So we can do if required. We can also remove it if it is not required like that. Or otherwise we can do the joining and then after we can change the condition or according to our requirement. So I'm just doing it no. So it is asking us like on which column do you want to join. Okay, so we can we have already seen like on these many columns we can do joining. So I'm just adding one more column and I'm just pressing OK. Then this joining is happen. So like this you can join multiple tables. We have 5 tables, 10 tables, whatever tables are there, so we can join it. So right now I'm just removing it. So if you have put this table into joining, but if you want to remove this table, then you can remove it from here, like remove this table. So right now we are working on only these 2 tables. So just press OK. And your data set is ready. So yeah, so this is our data set. So we have multiple operation available, so you can clean the data, explore the data, you can transform the data, you can give the shape or blend the data like that. So we'll see how can we do that. So first of all, there are many toolbars available on the right hand side. As you can see, we'll see what this toolbar means. Okay, so I'm just there is one option of enable auto suggestions, so we'll do that. So data extraction is completed. So it is asking us like do you want to load extracted data or not. So I'm just loading all the data. On the left hand side you can see result set is there. So if you click on result set, you can manage the column. So let's say if you want to change the column names, then you can just open the manage column and you can change like I want to change this column name as like only for as employee name. I can change it from here. So I can also delete the column from here as well. I can just select the column and I can delete it. You can export your metadata. Okay, so if you want to see the what is the my metadata in my data set, then you can just export it. So once you export, it will export in Excel file. So here, as you can see, there are 10 columns available. So these are the column name. These are the column type, like string. It is a data type is the string, double, or date time, whatever is the data type. So this one is the column marking. It is a dimension or measure. So this is nothing but the just sample data, and from which dataset it is created. So you can export the metadata and you can check like which type of data type is there, which type of data is available in my dataset. I'm just pressing apply. So column names are changed. Refresh from source. If you want to do manually refresh your data, then you can just click on refresh from source. Then it will fetch a new data from your source and it will reflect it in your dataset. We have also scheduler for that, so we'll also cover that as well. So this is for the manual process if you want to do manually there. And the third thing is properties. In the property we can see like um, uh, financial year starts from which month, so we can set like for India we are starting at April, but in some of the country financial year starting from June or July, something like that. Then according to that we can change this particular financial year month. And here we are showing sample data as a 1 lakh record. Okay, so right now we are working on sample data. So by default we work on the sample data only. Okay, if you have more than 1 lakh record, then we are working on 1 lakh data only. Let's say if you have 5 lakhs data or 1 crore or 1 million or 10 million data in your data set, then we by default we work on the sample data. So we keep it as a 1 lakh. You can change it over here as well. Like I can change to 10,000 or 10 lakhs as well. Okay, so whatever data operation you perform on this particular data set, it will work on the sample data only on the temporary basis. Once you save this particular data set and publish it, and so at that time it will this data operation will perform on the whole data. So let's say if you're 10 lakhs record or 1 crore record in your data set, then first of all by default it will work on the 1 lakh data. But once you publish the data, then it will perform all the operations on the all the data whichever is available in your data set. Yeah, so there was one question from Kunal, like how many tables we can connect while creating data set. How many tables we can connect while creating dataset? Is there any limitation? No, Kunal. So there is no limitation regarding the connecting of the database tables. We can connect as many as you want. Okay, so it is nothing, just like you just need to drag and drop and you need to create one. So if you don't want to create one query, so instead of creating a query, you just need drag and drop the tables, and it will automatically define the joining between those tables. If there is no joining condition Smarten is finding, then you can manually also put the joining condition. So there is no limitation to join the tables in the dataset. So once you have the data set, you just do the right click. So on the right click only, we have multiple operations available like highlight, unique value clustering. So what is mean by highlight? So highlight is showing them like we can highlight the missing values, spaces, inconsistent value. Like if I do the highlight spaces, then it will highlight the space. So wherever there is a space. So in this scenario, so we can in some of the scenario it may be happen like if you are getting the data many spaces after the data after some name something like that, then you can highlight these spaces and you can see like there are some spaces and you can trim the data accordingly. Then we can also highlight missing values. So if you have null values or something like that, then we can highlight it. So as you can see, there is one suggestion as zero value column find in the data, like incentive column. You can replace or remove zero values from this particular incentive column. So I suggest I just enable the auto suggestion in the Smarten dataset. So it will give auto recommendation like this. So Smarten is finding this inconsistency in the data, so you can replace that particular value or something like that. So because what will happen, so being a human, so we can sometimes miss the data like particular values. So because right now we are working on limited data, we can see only 21 for records at a time. So we might don't know like what are the record or data after somewhere like 500 rows or 10 lakhs row or something like that. So Smarten will automatically recommend the suggestion, give us the suggestions like you have to do this, then it will be useful for you like that. So in the highlight, we can highlight missing values, inconsistent value. Inconsistent value is nothing but if you are like, this is my string column, so we are having only employee name in this particular column. So if you have, let's say if you are getting 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6, any number for some of the rows, then it will automatically highlight those inconsistent value. We can also highlight the duplicate columns with this column, duplicate rows. So if you have multiple duplicate columns or multiple duplicate rows, then it will be very useful to highlight these particular rows or columns. So you can eliminate those columns as well, column or row as well. Rows with all nulls, rows with all zeros, column with all nulls, like that. So this is nothing but the highlight the inconsistent data in your data set. Then there is one option of unique value. So if you go to unique values, so here we can see like Manpreet Kaur Dolly is coming 36 times in my data. Okay. And on the bottom side, you can see like there are 299 unique values from 9765 records. So you can see in the employee name column, there are 299 values, unique values are there. And all the values are coming, how much time it will show it here. So right now we are working on some dummy data. So all the records are coming 36 times only. Otherwise you can see the changes as 36 or 2 or 5, whatever is there, something like that. Also you can change the value from here as well, like instead of Manpreet Kaur Dolly, you want to change this name as a like Manpreet only. So you just select that particular value, and I'm just removing this Kaur Dolly and pressing OK, save. So that value is changed. So I'm just searching Manpreet now. As you can see, there is only one value as Manpreet. So that value is changed now. So you can also like if you are finding any typo is there or any some value mismatch is there, or you want to give another name to that particular data, then you can give it here. Then cluster and edit is also cluster in the cluster and edit. So we are Smarten is running some algorithm according to the data, and it will finding the best possible cluster and edit. So it will automatically find like these many values are looking same, so you can change the name or something like that. So if you have any kind of data, so any typo is there or any other issue is there, then you can change it. Like this Balwant Singh Brar is coming, so it is giving suggestion like there are some names, few names are there like Balwant Singh Brar, Balwinder Singh is there, Balwinder Kaur Chima is there. So if you want to keep as a same name, then you can just cluster these particular values, and whatever name you give here, it will change for all these three values like that. Then we can do find and replace. So it's like you can find any values from here. So you can just find this particular value and you can replace equal to, start with, and see it contains. So there are multiple operations available. You can ignore the cases, and you can also replace the value with like entire cell or only match value, right? So there are different kind of operations available to find and replace value. You can also find the space, tab, empty, null values like that. So on the right click only, you will have these many options available. So you do not need any expertise in the database or query or something like that. So you do not have to do any ETL. You do not need to use any ETL tool if you are using this self-serve data preparation in Smarten. You can remove this column, this rows with column value. So if I remove this column or rows with this column value, then wherever there is Tundia PMG Virji by is there, this row will remove from the data. So this name you won't see this name again like that. You can also remove all duplicate rows with all nulls like that. Then we have option of geomap dimensions. So we can also mark it as a country, county, state, city, or area. So let's say if you want to create any geomap in the Smarten, then we have to define like this column is a considering we have to consider as a country or state or city or something like that. So once we mark it as a geomap column, then it will automatically identify at the front end and it will create geomap for you like that. So there are the options available for the geomap column as well. We can copy this row or column, right? We can do the sorting. So we can do the sorting of ascending or descending based on your requirement. Then we have the option of transformation. So we can also do the uppercase, lowercase, capitalize of the data. We can change the data type, right? So as we have also suggested one more thing like outlier values found in the column deduction. So please process outlier using outliers option. So we'll see outlier option is what, but it is also giving us the option to remove the outliers from the data. Yeah. So we were seeing the transformation. So transform is nothing but you can convert uppercase, lowercase, capitalize. You can also change the data type of the data. So you can change the database string, date, timestamp, double. So whatever the value can be converted into that particular data, then those only will be converted. Otherwise, you will get a null data like that. So let me just give you an example. So this is the name column. So we can't convert into the date data type. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So one question is there from the Mohan. So can we use store procedure instead of query? Yes, Mohan, we can use store procedure as well. Okay, so that is possible. So we just need to create data set from the query, page generated query, and over there you can use your store procedure and execute that. Store procedure should give the output as a select form only. Okay, so there should not be output as a any insert or something like that. So that we can use. Yeah, thanks for your questions. So there is one I was showing one option as like data type. So if I'm just clicking on this, so this will give you the suggestion like in which format your data is there and you want to convert it. So I'm just taking any random operation, and if we see the preview, then it will show it as a null value because we are not getting any data as this format. So that's why we are not able to convert it into the data type. So like that you will have the preview as well for every data. So before applying that particular operation on the column, you will have these preview options and you can get the data. You can also do the more transformation, like you can also trim the data and left string, you can go to the left string and you want to capture only some few records from the left like that, so that you can use. So we have also already we have also mentioned all the things. So how can you use those functions? You can do the right trim or substring or something like that, right? So you just need to select that column and you have to give the pass the argument. So what should be the argument 2? So it is mentioned over here. So it is starting position of the argument 2 like that. You just preview it and you will see the data, like how my data is look like. So let me just give you one example. So I'm just starting, my starting position is 0 and my ending position is 3. Then I'm previewing it. So as you can see, like for AK Banerjee, it will give you data is AK. For Ajay Kumar, it is giving me data as AGA, like that. Okay? So you can see the preview and do the data operation. Then we have option of add column. You can also add the column as a row number. Okay, so we'll have one column as a row number. You can add your custom column as well. So in the custom column option, we have multiple operations available. You can use those operations like arithmetic, date, miscellaneous, string. You just put your expression over here, like if case. You can create your if case as well. Like, so whatever columns are available in the data set, it will show up here on the left hand side. You can have like if case is like employee name. If my employee name is ASA, then data should be like this, like that. So you can put your condition over here and you can create another new column. You can also fill as a previous value. Let's say in some of the cases we have the null data and you do not want that null data should be present in the data. Then there are some operations available like as previous value. You can fill that value as a previous value. In some of the data we are getting in Excel or CSV or in the database, we are let's say we have 5 rows and only for first row we are getting the data for one column. For the other four rows we have null data, so we can fill same value as the previous one, like that. So in that case this function will helpful to you. We can split the data to column or row. So once you do the split to column, then you can, like, let's say you can split the data whenever we are getting S or space or ALA, like that. Then it will split into two columns. You can also split the data into row as well. So while doing split to row, like you have to specify the separator. So whenever you are specifying, let's say if I am specifying the separator as A space S, then A space S will come into the first row and second other name will come into the second row, and all other data will be same, like that. So that way you can split the data into row as well. You can merge some many multiple columns at a time. Like I want to merge employee name, deduction, loss of pay, or like that. You have separator over there. Okay, so I'm just keeping separator as underscore, and you can see the preview as well, like that. And then you can apply the filter like rows with value, duplicate rows, these all duplicate rows or something like that. You can also custom apply the custom filter. You can apply the edit row, or you can also do the edit of the row. So once you have the any unique column in your data, then only you can use this edit row option. Otherwise you can't use this edit row operations. So right now we have row number as a unique column. Then you can, so you can change this particular value or any value from this particular row, and you just apply it and that value will be changed. So let me just change this name. So that value is changed. So I can just apply. Okay, so a space as was there. Okay, so let me show it to you. Yeah, so here as you can see for number 4 we have changed this value a space s, so it is showing it here like that. So these many operations are available on the right click. So same operation will be available on the measure as well. So these are my measure, like let's say earning is my one of the measure. So if I do the right click, so most of the operations are same as the dimension, like highlight, unique rows, finding values, and add column transformation, like that. There is one more option as statistics. You will have the statistics of this particular column, like what is the count of this particular column, sum, what is mean value, max value, distributing of these earnings, and you can also have box plot of the earnings like that. So these are the statistics for this particular column. You can have mean, kurtoise, and skewness and standard deviation like that. So if you know the statistics, it will be helpful for you. Then on the date operation, so once you do the right click, so we have almost same operations available. So few are different. So let me show it to you, like transform. So we can make this date. So we can just make this date as a timestamp as 0, first day of the month, last day of the month. We can change the data type. Okay, so this we can do. Then we can so in this particular scenario, we just need to click on like add column, and you will have this month, quarter, year, weekday, or month name. You do not have to need any write any expression for that. You just click on year, then you will have the year of the period. So this year we are getting it. So you just click on so if you want the financial year or some financial quarter and month, then you can just go to financial. So my financial year is starting from April. I'm selecting it, and year, quarter, and month. I want these three values. So it will give me the preview, and I just apply it, and my three columns are created. So year, quarter, and months are created. So these are the operations available on the right click. Okay. So on the top of the toolbar, as we have seen, we can see the first one is enable or disable auto suggestions. So right now we have enabled it. Then we have the enable record count, so we can see the how many records are there in my data set. So switch to full data mode. So if you are working on sample data and if you want to see all the data, then you can just click over here and you will see the full data. We have also option of lineage diagram. So whatever operation we have done, so like data extraction we have done, then we have done the some transformation, then cleanup of the data, then again we have done the some transformation, and then we are getting the final output like this. So this one is the lineage diagram available for in the Smarten. Then there is a option of action editor. So whatever action we have performed in the data set, these all actions are recorded here. So you can change any action, or you can delete or inactive any action. So by, let's say if you have done some operations by mistakenly, and if you want to delete it or inactivate, then you can do it from here. You can also change the value. So let's say so we have changed the monthly from Manpreet Kaur Dolly to Manpreet. So let's say you want to change it Manpreet to some other name, then you can do it from here as well. Then same action will replace with this new action. Then we can see the outliers of the value. So as we have seen, there was one suggestion with the outliers. Okay, so we are just taking any column, so we will see the in the data how many outliers are there. So it is showing like 12.17% of total records are outliers, detected as outliers. So you can have these statistics as well here. So you can remove those data or replace outlier values as well from in the Smarten only. Then we have sample data. We can also work on sample data, like we can do the simple random sampling. So it will take random data of your total data. So let's say it will take the 30% of your data, or 40% or 50%, whatever you want. Or otherwise we can have the stratified sampling as well. For the stratified sampling, you can select any column, dimension column. So according to that, it will select the data and it will show it to you here. Then we have dimension map. So if you want to create any hierarchy in the Smarten, then you can create from here. So let's say we have one hierarchy as year, quarter, and month. Then we can create it. So we just need to give any name to that hierarchy. So that hierarchy is created. So at the time of creation of the dataset, we have joined multiple tables. So we also have option of joining or appending the multiple data sets. So let's say what are the difference between the joining of tables and data sets. So let me just give you one example. So let's say one data set you have created from the database and another data set you have created from the Excel file or CSV file, then it will be very helpful for you. You just need to create two different data set. One is from database and one is from Excel file. Then you can just add it over here. You just need to add it over here and you can do the joining of this particular data set. So let me just check if any data set is available. So I'm just taking any for the example, I'm just taking any data set. So whenever you add any data set, it will come as a tab in your data set. Okay. Then so let's say if you have same columns from the both the tables or same metadata or something like that, then you can append those two data set. You just need to select over here and it will automatically find out the best joining appending condition, union condition from both the data set. But right now no columns are matching automatically. We can do it manually as well. Let's say if you have my employee name is there in here, I have customer ID, so I can change customer ID to employee code something, so I can do it over here as well. Same way for the joining as well, so I can do the joining between those two data sets. So once I do the joining, so it will like, so right now from the sample data, Smarten is not able to find it out any joining condition between those two data sets. So it is asking us for like you want to go it for the pool data or not. So because I right now we know that there is no joining condition, so we are just clicking on OK. Or else just let me just create one another data set quickly and we will see that example as well. So right now I'm just taking one table and creating data set to show you the joining between two data sets. Okay, so I'm just now again I'm joining that new data set. So this one we have created just now. So first of all we will see the append action. So what it will do. So we will select the column. So it will automatically identifies the column matching column between these two data set and it will automatically append those two table data. We also can select manually, so these are the remaining columns which are not selected by default. Okay, so we can also do the append action for these two different data set as well. Same way for the joining. So once we select that data set, then it will give you the automatically joining condition between these two data set. So deduction and loss of pay, these are my measures, so we can't join on this, so we can remove it. So as we can see, employee names are matching 99% and employee codes are matching 100%, something like that. So we can do the joining. So I let me just apply it. and it is giving us the option like warning, like it is going to a cross join. So let me just add one more condition as well. So there is one condition as pay rate, and now let me join these two data sets. So as you can see, orange colors are there, so you can easily bifurcate between, like, this column is coming from the another data set and this column is coming from the another data set. So like this, we can join multiple data set as well. So there is no limit in joining data set as well. We can do as many as you want. Then we can aggregate the data. So whatever measures are there, we can do the aggregation on those data. Like we can do the sum, mean, max, count of average or anything like that. So we can do the aggregation on this particular data. Then we can export this data in CSV as well. So once you do the all the transformation, all the cleaning in the data set, then you want to use this data as part of the external data or something like that, then you can export this data in CSV. So once you do the export, click on export, then it will export in the CSV like that. So you can use that or verify your data with your database or Excel or something like that. There is also option of publishing. So there are two type of publishing of data set. So one is cache and one is real time. So cache is nothing but the we are storing your data periodically into our Smarten tool. Okay, so it is purely in encoded format, so don't worry about your data security purpose. Okay, so it is purely in encoded format. And in the when we keep it as a real time, so once we create any object means any report or dashboard or any graph, so once you open that particular graph or dashboard, at that time it will fire query on your database, and it will bring you the latest data. So in the scenario of cache data, so we have multiple scheduler frequency like hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. We can set it as monthly or daily. We can just set the time, like it should run at 2 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m. in the morning, whatever time it is convenient to you. And give the start date. Let's say today is 9th of April, but you want to start it after 15th. Like once lockdown is finished, you can start it like that. So you can select the date as well. You can also option you have also option of never ends or end after these many occurrences or ended. You will have the mail for it as well, and this is just active or inactive the data. And one more function we have available, like from you can rebuild the data from scratch or incremental. So from scratch is nothing but the once your data is rebuilt. So let's say yesterday my data was rebuilt on 8th of April and I am again rebuilding it. So all the data will discard from my data set, and right now whatever I'm getting new data from the database, all the data I will bring it into my database. So it will just truncate and load kind of thing in the from scratch. So in the incremental option, there are two options available. So one is append all rows retrieved from data source. So it will just append the data. So whatever we are getting from your query or your connection, so whatever data we are getting, we are just appending the data. We are not checking anything in this scenario. But let's say if you have any date column or any unique column into your data, then according to that you can also do the append condition. So let's say right now I have pay date column is available in my data set. So what it will do, so whatever data is available earlier, let's say I have a data till 8th of April 2020, and again I'm running the same query again. So if I check this particular option, then it will only bring the data whichever are available after 8th of April. It is working like that. Let's say if you have 5 years of data or 10 years of data into your database, right, and you have crores of data, so it is not advisable to take all the data on daily basis. So in this scenario, so what you can do, just select the date column whichever are available in your data set. So till, let's say we have data till 31st March or 5th of April, whatever last date is there, after that only we just append the data, new data we will append it like that. And there are another options available like rebuild below dependency data set. So let's say if I am rebuilding this particular data set, so before rebuilding this data set, it will rebuild the dependent data. So you do not have to do it manually, rebuild the dependent data, then you can rebuild the main data set. So it is not like that. So it will automatically rebuild your dependent data, then it will rebuild your main data, something like that. So that option is available. Yeah, so there is one question from Sneha. So yeah, so there is case of from scratch. So there is no, there is, it works like only truncate and load in the scratch table. But if you are keeping as an incremental append rows based on unique column. So in unique column, there are two options available. So if you have unique column into your database, like something like row number or something like that, so we find out the maximum number from that column. Let's say you have data till 100 row or whatever is something like that. Then whatever we are getting after 100, we'll append it. Or else you have date column, so you have data till particular date. Then whatever data we are getting in the database after that date, that we are going to append in the data set. So it is not working on primary key, but it is working on the unique column. So that we can do. Yeah. Okay, and yeah, uh, just so yeah, I think, and then last one is the save button. So these are the operations available in the self-serve data set and data preparation. So yeah, Raki has raised the hand. So can you, Raki, can you please type your question here so I can answer you? Okay. So we are talking publishing of the data. So we are talking about the column. So we'll see. So let me show it to you again. So in the rebuild method, we'll go to incremental, append rows based on the unique column. So wherever there is unique column or date column, there are two options. So right now I don't have any unique column from the, I am just having the date column. So on the based on the date, so we'll check whatever maximum date data is available in the data set. After that only, so whichever new records are there in the database, we fetch those only. Yeah, I hope I answered your query properly. Yeah. So is there any question from anyone? So we can cover that as well. Okay. So yeah, so there is one question from Mohan. So if we have parameter-based store procedure, then how can we pass parameter? Okay. So if you have parameter-based, normally we are using parameter as a from date or to date, something like that, right? So we have one option available in the what if kind of thing. So global variable is there. So in the case of the that particular your query, so we can set this global variable in the into your query or store procedure, and we can change it accordingly. So yeah, that is also possible at the parameter level. Okay. So yeah, and Rakhi is asking, like, if there is no new column but I have appended data in existing columns, then how it will reflect it? Okay. So first of all, it will check in the data set. So what is my maximum date available? So if we are taking one scenario for the date only, right? So it will check whatever data is available and what is my maximum date. Let's say my maximum date is available up to 31st March 2020 into my data set. Okay. And then you have added some data into your database. So there are data till 9th of April 2020 into your database. Okay. Now I am just refreshing this data set with your database. Then it will fetch data after 31st March only. So whatever data is there after 31st March 2020, it will take it into our data set. So it is not gonna check your previous data. So let's say if you have changed anything into your you have changed any data into 5th March 2020, then it will not change it here, because it will only select the data after 31st March 2020 only. Yeah. So there is one another question from Rupal. Yeah, same way can we append data which is uploaded from Excel sheet on shared folders? Yeah, so you can do the same thing. Okay, so whatever data, right now we are talking about the database, but whatever data you are getting into the your Excel or something like that. So if you have same data type or a structure is same for the Excel, then also you can do it. So there is no issue with it. Yeah, so if you have, yeah, yes, Raki. So if you have done any changes in the previous record, then one time you have to do it from the scratch. Then you can again start it from the incremental. Yeah. Is there any question from anyone? Okay. So yeah, I think. Uh, okay. So if you have any other question, then you can also connect with this resource on these resources. Okay. So we do have these options available. Like you can connect to our community. You can download our Smarten manuals from this particular link. You can download this PPT from your Hangout as well. So you will have these particular links. Okay. Then you have the AWS Marketplace link, and you can also ask your support question over this particular portal. We are also having, if you have any technical queries, then you can also raise your question at support@smarten.com. Okay.
Yeah,
And
and thanks, Dhruv. Just one point. If you can just highlight a very high level this lineage diagram and action editor, not in detail, but at a high level only. So if anyone has missed out that,
okay, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, yes, Prasad has one question. Can we schedule store procedure in a job which is parameter based, which I have written in HANA Studio? Yeah, so we have also option of SAP HANA connection. Okay, so once you do the SAP HANA connection, and then dataset is the same for all the connections. So if you either you do the um, SAP HANA or MS SQL or Excel or CSV, anything like that. So your dataset is for same for all connection. Yes, and so whatever you are asking, like that is also possible. Then if you have the store procedure with the parameter base, so we can use global variable in the in your store procedure, and we can pass it over in the Smarter. So as per Pradeep asking, so let me just cover that lineage diagram again. So whatever operations we have done, so let me just show it to lineage diagram again. So first of all, we have done the data extraction. Then we have done the transformation like rename column name or something like that. Then we have done the cleanup of the data. So we have changed the monthly called Dolly replaced with the monthly like that. Then we have done the data transformation again. Then we have done the joining. So those two table has joined. Okay. So it is nothing but the join of the data set. Then we are getting our final result set. So this is our lineage diagram, and in the action editor, as we can see, there are many operations we have done. So first of all, we have extract the data, then we have renamed the column names, then we have replaced the values, Then we have sorted this particular column. We have added this column. We have added row. We have added these financial columns and then joining of this condition. You can also edit or delete this particular action if you want to, right? And here also in the action editor, let's say you're done one condition or one operation based on some other column, and whatever base column is not available, then this particular action will highlight in the red. So you can get to know like this action is highlighting in the red, so there is some issue in the data or something like that, so we can check over it. So what is the issue in the data, right? So that is also possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is,
Thanks,
yeah,
Dhruv.
yeah, there is one question from Narinder. So can I
Okay.
use SAP HANA tables in the dataset and how? So let me just quickly show it to you. Which are the data sources available in the Smarten, which we can connect. So I'm just clicking on adding new data source. So these are the data sources which we can connect to the Smarten, like text, Excel, XML. So here we have option of SAP HANA as well. You can also connect SAP with the BAPI as well. So there is also option available for that. So if you want to connect with the SAP HANA, you just click select SAP HANA and click on next. You just need to provide this host name, port, database, this credential. Once you provide this data credential, then you just need to test the connection. So once connection is okay, then you can create dataset from your data SAP HANA connection. So like that we can do it.
Yeah. Thanks, Dhruv. And I think, does anyone have any question so far? I think we have addressed. You have addressed all the questions. Yeah. And so this is the slide that Dhruv is showing of resources, and you can also have this handy available in the handout sections of GoToWebinar. You can download this PPT also, which has this slide. You can always refer to this, and we'll also have upcoming webinars in the next week, and where we'll extend our trainings to the next session is various types of data sources and data types that Dhruv would be covering. And yeah, if any questions are there, please feel free to ask. Yeah, okay. Thank you everyone for participating in this webinar.
Yeah.
I hope
Thank
that
you.
that was useful to all of you.
Yeah. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. Yeah. We have one
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Just look at
yeah,
you.
yeah. Raki, dashboards. Right now, this is a training series, so we'll be covering dashboards, etc. also later on. So we have started with this self-serve data preparation, and then we'll be extending the multiple sessions of this training. So it will be planned later on, and we'll also have other webinars wherein a brief overview also would be covered. So I request all of you to visit smarten.com and webinar section, where we keep on updating the schedule of webinar. We will also keep you posted about this series. We'll keep on sending the emails to keep you posted.
Yeah.
So we hope that your this session was useful to all of us, and thank you for participating in this webinar, and feel free to connect with us. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
are concluding this session. Yeah, thank you all.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Yeah. Have a good day. Yeah.